Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is, what morning is this? It all runs together. It's Tuesday. And I still appreciate your comments. I love your comments to us. Like I said, it really keeps us beefed up, if you will. And I'm catching up. We're getting quite an archive of videos here. And by now, I probably answered most of your questions in one of these videos or another. I think maybe in the first ones we failed to elaborate. Maybe we'll go back and the topics will increase those so you can just kind of reference them easier. I'm kind of going to skip around a little bit because I got some important questions that I think that need to be addressed before some of the other ones. Not that to take priority over anybody, but some people are hurting more than others. But I talked to Mary from Greece yesterday. It was pleasant. And John and Helen, hello from Greece. Appreciate you guys. You're doing a lot of good work out there. And really do appreciate you all. I really do. I was should have went to Greece this year. Should have went last year. Supposed to go this year. I hate flying. I don't know. I just hate flying. I used to fly myself in the Air Force, but I don't know. These jetliners really, I don't know. Anyway, I want to get to some of these here. I have answered this long one at one time, and there were 6 questions to this. I have answered this on another video. I have to move on here, but this is about the superfoods and detoxification while pregnant and stuff like that. I have addressed that, so I hope that you can find that. That wasn't that far back. If you need me to address pregnancy again, I will. That is brought up in one of these, and I will cover it a little bit more. One of these was an individual with HIV. And let me tell you, get in here and get it out of you. Very curable, and I mean very curable. So don't sit around and wait with that. Get in and detoxify yourself. Get on the raw, get on the herbs, get into that lymph system of yours, and you'll get that viral load out of there, and you'll be good to go, man. So I wanted to tell you that, wherever it is in here, that you need to get that out of you. Yeah. Newly diagnosed HIV. And again, between a viral load and an actual, I call it adhesion because that's what viruses do when you have weak cells. It's a natural process of life, but you really want to get this viral load out of you. You're going to get all viral loads out of you, you know. I mean, but the real key to health is cleaning the body out of all the sewage and the viruses and the unwanted, if you will, the acids, etc., and strengthen those cells that comprise your body. The younger you are, the weaker you're going to be cellularly. It's just the nature of the beast in genetics right now. And I feel sorry for some of these kids who are really facing some serious issues. So we really have to, before we start having too many children, fix ourselves, get ourselves healthy before we pass, because your genes could be your kid's nightmare, and yours too, dealing in our current system where they'll take your kid away for nothing. It's just a mess out there, and so you want to get yourselves healthy. But this individual with HIV, get to it and get it out, and you'll be good to go. And by the way, thank you for the. Chris is trying to work with the art of our site to make it pleasant and nice, but he's not making me look thinner. He doesn't even know how to do that. So I don't know. I think the more I talk about this with you guys, I'm getting thinner. Let me see. Oh man, I know the experience of foods. Yeah, this was an experience that, you know, when you eat healthy, and then you go to eat something. And this was again another individual in here who had been raw, and I think it was a female, but she then cheated on protein, and her pain came roaring back. I've said this over and over, and it isn't something I just read. It's something I see and witness for 40 years. I'm not giving you information I read. I've stopped, even though I've got a fairly good library here. I got a good library at home, and I have Dr. Jensen's library. And so I've got a fairly large library that I quit reading many years ago because I was tired of reading other people's consciousness. I wanted to know factually. I wanted to know what the reality was, not studies, not ideas, not opinions. Don't drink half your body weight in water ounces. I don't want all that crap. What's the reality in a clinical setting? How do you get someone well from any level of decay? And so this educational site is about my 40 years in clinical work with, I'm going to guess, well over 150,000 people. Did know Dr. Jensen well, personal friend, did over 300,000 patients, and so we've talked at length many times. He used to come here and stay with me, and so, you know, it's just our experiences. That's all I can tell you. So an example here is this individual who ate bad and felt it. It isn't, you would think like it's the other way around. You get healthier, that stuff wouldn't bother you. It's not true. Your body adapts. And it's amazing when you start eating healthy. You look at the typical American diet and then you wonder how humans are living. And to be honest with you, today the decay of the cell is so bad that we're seeing these incredible genetic mutations. And it's just that we're not getting away with it. We only thought we were. And so this is serious right in the humans' faces now, and this is why you guys are here and I'm here. We're here to help the human race to wake up, because you have to. You know, there's no two ways about it. Talking to Greece yesterday, gosh, they have so much good fruit the way I hear it. It's amazing. And they were kind of interested that we didn't have that good of food over here. Florida's horrible. I talked to California too yesterday, and you know, they didn't realize Florida was so bad. It's horrible here with food, quality of food. Here's one. My mom has only one kidney that is working partially blocked, and the other one is much smaller, or says because blood supply is blocked off. I doubt it if blood supply is blocked off, because then you'd necroticize, you'd break down those cells. More than likely, she's so acidic that she's decaying the kidney, that it's atrophying, that it's shrinking, it's breaking itself down. And that would be more apropos, because if you don't get blood to cells, they're dead. And so you're gonna the same thing virtually, but much quicker. So this is a case where you got to get into her kidneys, get her on fruits, berries, and melons. A lot of those. Minor salad maybe a day. If it's your mom, she's older, she has a hard time, give her some cooked steamed vegetables or something. But get her on the fruits and get her going on this and get these kidneys restored. And obviously there's only two sides of chemistry, and you know the side of chemistry that your mom's on here. Get this going, get up her adrenal glands here, use lymphatic 4 at least, kidney 1 and 2, I'd use both of them, and really get your mom tear into this so she can pull herself out of this before it is too late. I would do fruit juices well over veggie juices, to be honest with you, but a good green drink a day, okay. Oh, she's 78 years old. She was told not to drink too much. Well, it's all about how much is she urinating, how much is the input and how much is the output. Yeah, but you got to start somewhere. So I wouldn't drink water on top of all this. You got a lot of water in the fruits. That's the trouble. When you're acidic, you're gonna hold water. You're gonna get edemic. So drinking all this water is stupid. You can't rehydrate the body drinking gallons of water a day. It's impossible. Interstitial acidosis is interstitial lymphatic constipation. And until you rectify that, you'll continue to have a low level or a higher level of dehydration no matter what you drink. So really fixing these kidneys are really key. Guys are going to see kidneys, kidneys, kidneys. The more you look, the more you see. And this is a big failing of allopathic physicians, I think, is the understanding of what we're talking about here. The two sides of chemistry, the two major fluids that handle the health of the cells, and the role of the kidneys. And you guys are seeing it more and more and more. The question is referencing a zapper. And Owen, you know, okay, is this Hilda Clark, or Linda Clark, whatever her name was? You know, I like the herbals, because then you're going to target those that shall leave and those that shall stay much better. I've had people that's used the Zapper for years and still have heavy involvements, and then I have others that swear by it. So I don't know, whatever your fancy is. I like the botanicals for parasitic elimination because it seems to target those that must go and keep those that must stay. It's amazing. It's kind of like blood sugar herbs. If you have high blood sugar, the same herbs can bring it down, or the same herbs can bring it up. I find God amazing, don't you? So I don't know. They're okay. I just don't get into machines or zappers and things like that. I think we don't need to do that. Don't have to do that. Yeah, get the gluten out of the diet, man. That's the bottom line here. Nothing healthy about grains whatsoever, period. End of story. I don't know, we got caught up in that insanity. And what's amazing, one side of the government said eat it, and the other side of the government said look at all the obesity. I mean, nobody really has got their head together anywhere. And so the American Dietetics Association, I blame those more than anybody else. Unscientific insanity, and this is what we're looking at. When you're eating a barbecued beef sandwich and french fries in the ICU, intensive care unit, shortly after a heart attack, I have to say that that dietitian is just not on this planet. This is a sad thing. And she's a dietitian, I don't care who ordered that up. If a medical doctor ordered that up and I was a dietitian, I said, there's no way I'm going to feed this boy that. You make him a barbecue sandwich and you feed it to him. And when he dies, which he did, then it's on your shoulders. Hi, Tina from Ontario. Yeah, this is a sad story. You had a ruptured appendix for 8 days while you were pregnant. Oh, honey. Woo-hoo. Man, yeah. Blood pressure is extremely low, honey. 94 over 51. 51 is kidneys. Of course, you should be up closer to 60 at least. So that tells me you do have some kidney weakness going on. And of course, what's on top? The adrenal glands. And I'm watching you guys talking to each other. You guys are getting smart as all get out. When I talk to you on the phone or you come in here, you guys are getting it. You're smart. I love it. I bow to you. You've done well. Really, really done well. 94, really low. It will not hurt you while you're pregnant to take a kidney formula and adrenal gland formula. It might just help your infant to develop theirs better too. But I certainly would tear after that because your blood pressure is insanely too low. So neurologically speaking, you're working for two. And that's real important because your baby's going to have some serious adrenal gland and kidney issues if you're not careful here, honey. Let me see here. This gentleman's on a drug for atrial fib. Atrial fibrillation means that your electrical spark from the atriums is just sparking all over the place. So it's basically like this. Depends how many sparks get through that opens that valve to bring the blood through to the lower ventriculars. So really, you got to go after the health. Go after your adrenal glands. Make sure you're utilizing calcium. So for sure, go after the parathyroid gland. And I would take the brain and nerve formula. It wouldn't hurt to take the heart formula on top of that and get yourself into that. Is this the one that's stuck on a pacemaker? There's one of you guys that are stuck on a pacemaker really bad. I mean, you have atrial fibrillation and only a few electrical sparks are getting through to the ventricular, so it's you're a really low heart rate. And so really, you want to kick up those adrenals big time. That's neurotransmitters for that nervous system, which is the autonomic. Won't hurt to use the brain and nerve to strengthen up the brain and, of course, the central as well. It'll also affect the autonomic, get calcium utilization going there. Wouldn't hurt to take the heart formula. I love those herbs in there for that. And then work on your lymphatic system. It'd be really key to pulling yourself out of this. Here's the hypothyroids for 20 years. So there's one connection there you got is low, and I'm telling you, it's probably going to reach into your parathyroid. And then you have a calcium utilization. Of course, you can see that the thyroid controls heart rate, and here you're on thyroid, which is not working for you. So really pick up on a glandular. It'll really pick that up. I'd also suspect you want to look at your case, because you could also suspect the pituitary here. Remember that little thing called the pituitary? Not very big, about the size of the end of this pen. But that gland is something else, boy. It's tied to the hypothalamus area, which is the central hub of the brain. So upper circulation probably would be apropos here. So upper circulation, brain and nerve, heart. I would probably do a pituitary glandular. I would do a thyroid, a hot thyroid glandular, and I would do a parathyroid glandular. Really hit this and pull yourself out of that. Get a picture of your eyes. I'm setting up a special for you guys that I'll do your eyes for, which will give you a quick overview of your body and somewhat of a protocol. But anyway, that's what I would do. You're definitely losing calcium big time. That's your parathyroid gland. Really suspect the pituitary here in this case. So you to make sure you want to hit the pituitary. At the same time, behind all this, you're detoxifying, right? You're detoxifying because detoxification leads to tissue regeneration. So always remember why you're detoxifying, not just to remove the acids out of the body, but you're also, the end goal is to regenerate tissue, whether it's a thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary, adrenals, it doesn't matter. That's the end goal of what you're doing here. And so this would be real important for you to pull yourself out of this. Yeah, you're the one that's stuck on a pacemaker. But get these glands, sweetheart. Lona Lotta. Oh, man. All love. Man, see, you're a great soul here, man. You just, you know what? Work with this, sweetheart, and you'll get yourself out of this. Real important. If you're a female, I don't know, but definitely, go after those endocrine glands. And I think you'll be fine. You'll pull yourself out of that, and you'll get your body straightened up. Let me see here. Yeah, I've only got 10 minutes here. Someone asked me all the fruit with all the sugar. You know, I hear that stuff all the time. And how come you don't see sugar problems in primates and in herbivores? They're always eating grass full of sugar. I mean, what is grass? Glucose. What's fruits? Fructose. They're both simple sugars. How come they not have problems like humans? That's because you don't realize that sugar is the main need of the human body. Carbon and oxygen are essential to get ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That's cell energy. That's how your car runs. That's how your cell runs. Sugars are essential. Most people are locked on this ridiculous concept of proteins, which is mostly what your body responds negative to. So really the sugar is really key here, and that's true in most vertebrates. Why does the grizzly bear get fat before they hibernate? Because sugar is key to cellular activity and health. Even if you're in a hibernation state, your cells still have to live. You can't kill cells and then live, even though there is a frog or something that you can freeze for years and it comes back out. I'm amazed at some of that nature stuff. But you got to have sugars. If you're not metabolizing sugars, that's an adrenal gland problem. You got to fix the adrenal gland. Don't blame the fruits, blame your adrenal glands. Fix your adrenal glands. If you want too much sugar, then eat starch, because starch is complex carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are simple sugars. Simple sugars, carbon chain constituents, essential for most vertebrates. Even lions like the gut where the half-digested lettuce is. Not too many, if you notice in the animal kingdom, not too many carnivores eat other carnivores. Notice that? Yeah. So it's really important that carbon is needed for cell function. Or you're like a lion, you sleep 20 hours a day because you can't overexert the cells of your body because they'll die. You're not getting enough carbon. Outside of that, then the omnivores, even dogs like grass, if you don't give dogs carbon, they don't do well either. So don't freak out with the sugars, freak out with your adrenal glands. Let me see. This is the individual feeling pain under his foot. Oh, this is her dad. Hi, Pocahontas. This is her dad feeling pain under his foot. Well, that's a nervous system, of course, under the toes. Probably tied right to his kidneys, sweetheart. I'm not sure what I can be, as he doesn't like to do any tests. They're going to, I don't blame him. He has prostate problems. Perfect, that's the kidneys. That's the kidneys big time. That's why he has prostate problems, is the kidneys. But it also, remember, affects L4 and L5, the lower back, affects the nerve ganglia going down the feet. And remember, you got kidney nerves going down to the feet. So you're going to have pain in the bottom of those feet, like a neuropathy type of feeling. This guy, you've got to have your dad fix his prostate, or he's walking down the road, you know. Prostate cancer's everywhere. Allergies, that's his lymph system. Of course, his kidneys are not filtering his lymph system, so he has some prostatitis at the least. He's got a form of neuropathy or neural inflammation, neuritis, and some colon problems to caboot. All right, Paulina, you got to take after your dad, at least get him on a halfway raw food diet, and then use the herbs, because some guys just don't do it all, you know. But get him on the kidneys, the adrenal glands, and get on the lymph system, and you could give him a little prostate for him. It depends what his PSAs are. PSAs are how we register prostatitis. You know, basically 0 to 3 used to be the score, now it's 0 to 4. They should have reduced it instead of increased it, because genetically speaking, prostates are weaker in men. So I've seen prostate cancer come in here at PSAs of 2, especially in 40-year-olds. So dangerous time. 60-year-olds, you're probably going to look at 6, 7 before it's prostate cancer, and then as you get older, it can go up to 10s. Gravity Colonics, how you doing, sweetheart? Let me see. Yeah, appreciate that. What is that, May Freaky? Appreciate the comments, guys. I really do, really, really, really do. This is the one, sweetheart. You saw what you ate bad. You saw what protein did you, and how it's related to pain. I tell you, I've seen this over and over and over again. So when you're in pain, you don't do protein. Sorry, and you just learned that lesson. I think it was a real good one for you. I showed a friend of mine, a medical doctor, that one time, and he will not give protein when his patients are in pain, because I just showed him just what it does to you. You know, experience is worth 1,000 words. Let's see, medication for athlete's foot. After that, my white blood cells dropped immensely. Holy crap. You know, I'm telling you, we are in a serious issue with pharmaceuticals. These guys just live in another world. They don't care about human life. I don't care what people think. These people are about the money. We can do so much better with botanicals and even homeopathics. But when you're doing this, I had a guy come in here that was on some pharmaceutical, and he had absolutely no bone marrow left. They couldn't find any bone marrow left in him. Imagine taking some drug and it chews up your bone marrow. You're in trouble. I mean, so much trouble. They gave him a blood transfusion every day for a while, and then we got him to every week, and platelets every 2 days or so. I mean, this is the bad stuff. You must beware. So what I would do is I would get in like to the Ultimate Immune or some formula you can find out there for bone marrow regeneration. I would also clean my spleen out and my liver up, and then get the kidneys and adrenals and move your lymph system and build those white blood cells back up, because boy, that's the one thing you don't. I'd rather see real high white blood cells than real low. Real low is not good. So look at your platelets, see if they're okay. Could have just affect the spleen. You don't want it to affect the bone marrow. This is possible. Ridiculous. Always use botanicals for virals or fungus problems. If you got athlete's foot, you got fungal problems. Well, no kidding. The average person has a lot of fungal problems. Use Parasite M or something equivalent out there for the for the fungus. At the same time, dig into your lymph system, man. Really clean your lymph, get your kidneys, and remember the adrenal glands, you're not metabolizing sugars, probably why the fungus, or you have a lot of sulfur in you. So you want to get that out of you, and I'm sorry I'm going so fast, but I don't have a lot of time. I'll come into the end of the week and sit down and catch up here, and I'll go a lot slower. But really, this is a serious thing. You want to build those white blood cells up, and I would definitely hit the bone marrow and the spleen. Tina from Ontario again. Poor pigmentation. She says, my 6-year-old daughter has always had dark spots, gray-black, on the whites of her eyes. Wow. Well, I don't know, could be skin pigmentation, pigmentation of that. Check the pituitary, move the lymph just in case. You don't know what chemicals or something might be lodged in those tissues up there. Really move her lymph system, get her little kidneys. She's got kidney and adrenals at that age, but suspect a little pituitary going on there. Can't hurt to pop that up a little bit. How old is she? She's 6-year-old. Yeah, I mean, you do just like a fourth of a pill or a half a pill, the pituitary, twice a day. In the 6-year-olds, you're going to use drops when it comes to herbs. And in a 6-year-old, you'd probably do a quarter of a dropper full, probably be adequate for this individual. So you're going to do drops. I have it by weight on my herbal formulas. A lot of people don't, but I go by weight a lot of times. That's a good way to go. Jennifer's worked with so many kids. You can ask her opinion on that. She's raised all her kids on a lot of herbs. Yeah, the banana, raw life banana, nature's perfect food, according to a 3-doctor professor in Canada. I don't think it's a great detoxifier, but I think it's the meat of the fruit, if you will. Let's see, the metal they use. Oh, the stainless steel threads for the hernia. My healthier me. I don't know what to say. I don't know how much the tissue responds to stainless steel. Shoot, I don't even know if stainless steel is acidic or alkaline, or it's somewhere in the middle. I know there's a lot of copper there, so I don't know what to say about that. But if your hernia is falling apart, go back to where you had it done. And my time is up, and I've got to go. So thank you very much for listening, and we will come back here and address the rest of these questions here. I'll have them done by the end of the week for sure. So I really appreciate it. Sorry that I had to go so fast this morning, but I needed to cover some of these. I thought some of these were kind of important. And I really, I try to go through those real quick. The name of the master is Fubbi, F-U-B-B-I, Quantz, Q-U-A-N-T-Z. Credible being, very ancient master. Used to sit right here when I was giving a lecture or a class. He would pop right here in my consciousness, and I could see him as I could see that camera there, and he'd be talking to me while I'm giving a talk. And this is a high spiritual being, so I would be listening but talking at the same time. And he taught me how to talk without thinking, how to just let whatever comes flow and listen at the same time to something else. So he taught you how to be in the moment and let your mind and let things move and go without you being involved in that. The worst lecture there is someone that has to read. Without you being involved in that. The worst lecture there is someone that has to read or memorize. I've been to a lot of lectures. I hate to say it allopathically again, but I used to be with a team on cervical cancer, all medical doctors but me, and they would have to read. Now, if I know my subject, I don't have to read my subject. That's the most boring lecture I've ever attended, is somebody that has to read their lecture or go by and memorize some bull crap. You want someone that's had the experience, someone that knows what they're doing, someone that's been in the trenches and that's tore this apart. So anyway, thank you, and you all have a beautiful day, and if anybody cancels this afternoon, I'll be back. If not, then I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you, and have a lovely day. Love all of you. Thanks again. That was an RN that's been on the program for about a year now, and man, she has some great changes in her eyes. Her lymph nodes are greatly reduced. Her lymph system is just at least 50% better. So she's doing real well. But she's already has all the smarts, so I didn't need to spend a lot of time. So I'm back with you again, and as always, a pleasure. And I'm humbled that you're watching this site. I feel that it's our site. It's a good educational site, I think. And let's go on and touch some of these important questions here. Thank you for bearing with me. You know, I know we're a little up and down with things here, but just bear with me, and we'll have some good videos here. Here is, can we deworm ourselves if we are nursing our baby? You know, I think Parasite M would be as strong as you'd want to go with a little baby. Our Parasite G, pretty strong, although I don't think it would hurt a child at all. I've never seen any herbs hurt a child ever. But on the safe side, Parasite M would be good. It's a dewormer anyway. It would be good. And it would also deworm the child, but probably not any worms at this age, but certainly would be fungus. It's not the bacterial community I'm even slightly worried about. We need to get over that one. We need those babies. But the fungal problems can take a toll on us. So, yes, I would deworm myself, but I would do it with like a Parasite M, a more gentle formula there, I think. Still waiting for the herpes. I did address herpes the other day. Again, I'll address it short term right here. Viral, detoxify it out of the body. It's a proteolytic. It's a protein splitter. In other words, you see herpes come out when you're acidic. Just eat too many acid, even acid pineapples and stuff like that. You get too acidic, you'll get this herpes simplex. Remember, there's nothing bad about herpes in the sense that a lot of people just, especially females, just go into shame over this. Everybody's got herpes nowadays. I mean, it's just the rule of the road. A lot of people have shingles, which is herpes on the myelin sheaths. You know, this is a mutation of the smallpox vaccination, is the way I understand it. A medical doctor was talking about that on a news program once about the mutation of the smallpox vaccination within people. And that brings me up to an important question, and that question was on vaccines. I had once a call from Texas, and this was, by the time I got the call, she was about 14 months, I think, maybe 15 months old. At 4 months, they gave her a loaded Hep B vac. This little girl went into liver failure. She went into blindness. Her left eye just literally turned east. She went into constant convulsions. Now, it took me a good month or more to get those convulsions out of her and to start strengthening the nervous system enough to get the eye and everything to start pulling back. But this is the kind of thing that we don't understand about neurotoxins like thimerosal. We scuff off of this. And what's interesting to me is that a pharmaceutical company or anyone is willing to scuff off those very serious issues so they don't have to have liability. Why use them in the first place? We got to get to the understanding of neurotoxins and the factor that humans are having weaker and weaker nervous systems as the genetics are going downhill here. Medical doctors need to deeply understand the nervous system relationship to genetics and the adrenal glands and what's going on here and the role of neurotoxins in our society and what that does to the nervous system. And if you don't understand that, I don't know why you would call yourself a neurologist. And the same thing goes with endocrinologists. I mean, this lack of understanding of the endocrine glands just floors me sometimes. It's amazing. And so these are two areas that are vital areas to understand. and the relationship of the endocrine glands to the nervous systems. So, I don't know, but it's enough to say that I don't favor vaccinations at all. At the same time, we got malaria in places, and we have to understand this is about culturing mediums. This is about looking at the difference of someone that gets malaria and someone that doesn't from mosquito bites. It's the same thing as someone catches a cold and flu-like symptom and someone else doesn't. You guys will soon find out that no matter what epidemic or what issue you're involved in, you just can't get sick, using their terms. You just can't get sick because you're cleaning your culturing medium out, and that makes your immune system that much stronger. I had a pediatrician call me one time, and she said, "Do you believe in vaccinations?" And I said, "Heck no." And so she said, "Well, I don't either. I believe in natural immunities." And this is the point. Natural immunities last for a lifetime, if not on down the genetic tree. She's either an ER doctor or she's a neurosurgeon. I think she's a neurosurgeon. She's coming out with tapes. I can't remember her name right offhand, forgive me, but it's like there's so much crammed in there. But she started investigating in these CDC centers about the truth that was being told to medical doctors. And I have to say, one for the medical doctors is a lot of them aren't getting the truth. A lot of the stats they're told are not accurate. And she discovered this, and so she started doing videos on the reality of vaccines and some of the very serious side effects that were suppressed by the CDC centers. Now, right there's a criminal act, and those guys shouldn't be walked to jail. Because look at all the little children and all the people they hurt. I mean, this is a very serious problem, in my opinion. And yet there's no criminal investigations. There's no criminal activity. These medical doctors and these pharmaceutical drug lords think they're above the law. And this is a sad thing. It's a sad, sad thing. So I don't know. I mean, they're not above karma. So I can tell you that the day's coming. So I wonder how that would look to someone, to see someone suffer and wonder where that came from. It's interesting. Just out of the blue, that one suffers and one person doesn't. How do you explain that? Someone who doesn't believe in you reap what you sow. So let me go on. Vaccines, sometimes you have to, it's your religious right not to have them. Not Horowitz, but the emerging virus guy, he did have some attorneys, I think, that was helping people, but the religious belief is your right, and toxicity in children is ridiculous. In today's world, putting these vaccines and superloading these vaccines, I feel sorry for our troops. They're vaccinated to the hilt. So there's a lot of serious issues going on with these guys. And I'm going to say, if you're in the military, detoxify yourself real big. I mean, you really got to dig deep in there and get all these vaccines out of there. They did that in the Vietnam War, too. They've been vaccinated the holy hell out of us. So, herpes, HIV, all of that. Get that out of you. Detox yourself. They'll go dormant in an alkaline medium, if you will. So those that have herpes outbreaks, the more alkaline you get, the more they'll go away. But I would keep digging deep in those tissues and actually let the body get rid of the virus loads. You can stay on Parasite M for extended periods of time to help you to do that. It's also considered an antiviral. I've touched on that, the skin issue there, the alligator skin stuff, real important. I did that. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton had gone vegan after he read the China study. Well, I liked old Billy in some ways, smart in economics, but still wasn't willing to tell the people the truth about the IRS and stuff. But really, he needs to detoxify himself. Look at how quick his hair turned white, the big bags under his eyes. If you look at why he had why he had heart problems, look at his kidneys. He's big-time kidney failure, and you can hear the congestion now in his throat. He can hardly talk. So he's really lymphatic up. So Bill Clinton, you've got to detoxify yourself big time. It isn't enough just to turn vegan. And that's why you'd think just turning vegan would answer the question, but they don't. Ah, my dear full heart. Oh, you like the hair? I don't know. I feel bald, you know. I like longer hair on men. Billy Bass. Billy Bass drummer, man. Thank you for your comments, my friend. Keep it up. Keep it up, man. Let me see here. Other comment I'd like to make about cancer is this. I myself am a recovering addict and work and live a sober 12-step program, and anger from the past is... Yeah, you know, the liver. Liver is definitely the seat of anger. So you get that out of there and keep working on yourself, Billy Baum. Get yourself strong, Billy Bass, I mean, and get yourself healthy. Turn to the spiritual side of life, and you know, you're doing good, man. It's a trip, you know, getting your body healthy, working through all these different things, being happy, getting your joy back. That's a trip sometimes. It's tough. A lot of things want to pull your joy out of you, you know, and if you get the wrong mate or you tackle something big and, you know, so it can take your joy out real bad. I know, I've had it happen to me too, and it's like, you know... let me see here. Yeah, someone asked me about this is Tina again. Would you forget about B12, honey, please, for me, or if you're going to worry about it, take it and don't worry about it. Glandulars, I don't like added constituents, and this is labs, and these are biochemists, and so they do tend to add different vitamins or minerals in with these glandulars. Yeah, I'd probably do it a little different. I'd probably add maybe kelp in with the parathyroid formula instead of adding CalMag. But they're still into isolates, and I'm just not into that. But when we have serious issues where you're bruising real bad, you're right at the doorway of aneurysms, you're herniating, so take whatever you can to strengthen up and, you know, balance your body's chemistry out as your diet is raw and everything. Let me see. Fanatical, relentless, overtraining. Yeah, let me see what you're saying here, sweetheart. You did a lot, Tina, with the videos or something, or with just overworking yourself, a lot of eye strain and stuff. Well, sometimes you got to get away from the computer and or get a nice screen for it. A friend of mine was up in the Social Security Department for years, developed a nice AC current regulator that helps to regulate the AC current, the alternating currents, which then this reduces the radiation from the computer. This guy was a whiz kid, so did a lot of good things that way. Owen Fox, yeah, get headaches. Yeah, I mean, Owen. Yeah, I think that using kelp and getting away from that, getting some full sun in there, are going to be real important for you. Definitely pop on the greens when you're doing the computers, stuff like that. And like I said, get screens or they have these little gadgets you can get. I don't know if they really work or not. I put one on my cell phone. And I don't know. But certainly, you know, find a way to protect yourself. Get you an AC a current regulator. That would be good. Another thing you're asking on is Fox is water fasting, maybe to see. Well, you know, water fasting is interesting. You're 6 foot 2.5 inches, and you weigh 58.5 kilograms. You're really working on your limp, eh, man? Yeah, you know, you guys are doing good. I think you're really doing good, all you guys. I love what you're doing. There's nothing magic out there. I have to say that I think you're getting that. You guys are working at your best. You know what the gig is. You're learning the rules of the road as much as we know, and then I commend all of you doing well. Keep yourself balanced and get your joys back and enjoy every minute for what it is. Get strong in yourselves so you're happy with yourself, where you can look at flowers and look at the beauty of gardens and the beauty of a blue sky, and just you enjoy life like that. And get in that now like little kids again, where the joy is all over the place. And get your body healthy, because the healthier, and I've seen comments here where those of you who have been on raw foods are feeling better and better and better, and it's just putting a smile on your face. You know, and when that happens, when you eat a bowl of fruit, you're smiling. It's like the fruit is like sunshine. It just kind of makes you smile to be healthy and to eat a piece of fruit. And it's amazing. I don't get that way eating a piece of lettuce. Interesting. Oh, well, it might just be me. Let me see here. I'm currently doing a robot vegetable juice. My blood sugars levels are good. No metformin. When it is safe to start eating some fruit. Well, you can play with that all you want. Really, you'd really just glucose load a little bit when you're, especially a type 1, but you're on metformin, so that means you're type 2. And so fruit takes it up and down a little bit. So what? I mean, you'll balance out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you go on a fruit and vegetable diet, you'll see for a few weeks maybe blood sugar's flipping up and down, but you'll balance out and then it'll all be good, to be honest with you. So if you're on metformin, your blood sugar isn't that high. Some people worry about blood sugar too much, I think, sometimes. You're on cinnamon caps. We've got a good... but this is about adrenal steroids. This is about cortisol. I know you hinted about insulin receptors, but this is about cortisol and that effect on that. Cortisol is involved in sugar metabolism. That's type 2. You wouldn't be a type 1 on metformin that I know of. Hey, we're getting down there, guys. That's pretty good. Yeah. Thanks for bearing and listening to these. I know they're kind of long, and you know, I keep going over these same things, and you'll find that I'm going to keep bringing you down this road, and then and I'm going to turn it back on you and let you tell me what to do. So you'll see we're going to change the way we do these as we get an archive of this. Then we'll I'll figure some way to get you to help me here. Thanks for your comments, C3 speech or 3. PO C3PO. Thanks for the that cleansing. It said chronic pain. Chronic pain is chronic acidosis and a real stagnant lymph, meaning a real weak adrenal and kidneys. So really want to kick that up. Again, anything acidic, and even when you're in that much pain, I'd probably avoid the berries and the cherries and the acid fruits. Stay with the subacid and the sweets and vegetable juice, and kind of go down that way. At the same time, I'd work on my lymph, I'd work on my kidneys, I'd definitely get into those adrenal glands, get your steroids up. That'll be a little help with the pain relief, and start moving that lymph. If you have a lot of sulfur in the body, you're going to have to dig through that, get that sulfur out. A lot of times people in chronic pain have a lot of sulfur, and it's just literally locked your lymph system in place. And that's the use of these sulfur drugs and antibiotics. These guys don't realize you just can't do that. But you know, they don't have to clean up the mess like we all do, and that's the problem. They just go next, and we have to sit there and clean up. People ask what a naturopath is, and I can tell you we're a glorified janitor. They ask me, what do I do? I said, I'm a janitor. I got to roll up my sleeves and go in and clean up the mess that most medical doctors have left, and what you have done to yourself. Not knowing, of course, because no one has handed out a how-to manual when you come to this rock spinning through space. And of course our parents have just fell victim of that too. Very few spiritual beings pull themselves up outside of the norm or the box and ask why, and start looking more broader at things, more holistic, without these little boxes of conditioned thinking and propaganda that we're fed. And so we're doing it now. Look, all of you guys are those that pulled out of the box and said, "Oh, look." And so this is just great to talk to and to have a group of people as nice as all of you are. I'm very humbled. But keep working that chronic pain out of you, sweetheart. Rebuild the nervous system. You can use brain and nerve. Antispasmodic might help with the pain a little bit. Chronic pain, hope you're not on morphine or anything like that. But keep working yourself out toward the alkaline side of the fence. Get those kidneys and adrenals up, clean up the bowels, and you'll be doing pretty good. Thank you, Universal Life Energy. Thank you for the comment. You're great, really, really great. Thank you so much. I'm humbled with that. How's Dan McDonald doing on his bike tour? Has he made it yet? I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to check up on him. I hope he's doing good, that guy. He should have taken a bunch of our God's blend. All he had to do is suck that down. That would have really taken him. I know we send him stuff all the time. CW was she's a famous pianist. She is a musician. She travels the world, or did, until she got her cancer, and then she just kind of slowed down and got out of music. Very popular, traveled the world, like I said, very popular musician. But she now is so in love with health that not only did she get her health back, she's helping people now. She's becoming a healer, and she prefers that over being a musician because she's been a musician most of her life, from what I understand, and she's, after a while, I guess she just got burnt out of all the road issue. She was a smoker, all that, on the road, but she turned her life totally around. She's looking really good. She's done well. CW, you did well. Let me see here. Hyperprolactemia. I have no menstruation unless I take a drug. Oh, I haven't done since 2003. MRIs have shown no pituitary tumor. No, but you don't have to have a tumor on the pituitary, honey. You can have a weak pituitary or a hypothalamus area. You can have weaknesses in tissue you can't see with MRIs and CAT scans. That's why the iris picture is so beautiful. That's what you're going to want to do, is get an iris picture to me and let me see this. But you're definitely going to want to do a pituitary glandular, I can tell you right off. Some of this is hyper, though, so you have to be careful. Detoxification is really important. I do the upper circulation. Definitely detox the body. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to find problems with your GI tract, too. So you want to clean up your bowels here. Proteins levels down to 200, down to 80. Prolactin levels by eating more raw foods. There you go. You keep detoxifying yourself, because you can have a weakness and with acidosis create a hypoactivity in those tissues where you see that going back and forth, where you can have part of the pituitary in a hyper state and the other part in a hypo state. I've seen that. Left intraductal breast lump 2 years ago, and I'd like to know if you recommend doing a pituitary glandular and adrenal glandular. If you're hyper, maybe not a glandular, because if you hyperstimulate yourself even more, that would be more problematic. In a hyper state, the only true remedy is detoxification. The same thing with a goiter. I never touch the thyroid in a goiter. Even if it's hyper and now hypo, I still don't touch it. The more activity of cells, the more cell waste, the bigger the tumor's going to grow, because the problem is you're not moving lymph. And when you're not moving lymph, to produce more waste would make lymph even worse. So that's why you don't have a lot of activity when you have tumors and things, because a lot of activity is just going to make your tumors grow. You can't move lymph by activity when your doors are closed. And the doors, of course, is the kidneys and adrenal glands. So, and of course, you can come around and swing up and pick up that pituitary, but I would probably do upper circulation. If you did anything, you could do the endocrine gland formula. That's a gentler, softer, that is a botanical formula, would have more of a gentle effect upon that. I think that would be good. Definitely would do the adrenal glandular. That would be something I would definitely do. Definitely the female reproductive, endocrine formula, good check here, good deal. Definitely lymphatics, kidneys, bowels, absolutely. She has low estrogen and progesterone. That's probably systemic. That's your adrenal glands. Don't take them. Get your adrenal glands healthy again. That's a real big key here, that you're having problems that way. I do say that the prolactin stuff, that's probably dealing more in the pituitary and the lymph in the brain area there. Trying to scare me into having a mammogram. Well, you're doing thermographies already, much better. Thermography is more like a heat sensing, like these helicopters looking for runaways or looking for criminals, you know, they're running away and they check body heat. So thermographies are the latest thing, so much better than mammograms. Here, this whole mammogram issue where the government committee found that they definitely contribute to and many times cause breast cancer, and the next thing you know, everybody's up in arms. Well, you got to have some way of telling. Nobody bringing out thermography, so the women saying, well, we got to have. I couldn't believe the amount of women and people that fought for mammograms, realizing that they cause cancer. You know, I had the lady at large breast, very dense tissue. She was shot 7 times in a mammogram and ended up with breast cancer from that. Not worth to destroy your cells. If you got a tumor in the breast, what's going on here? It's your lymph system. Get your lymph system. If you understand that, you don't have to go to some of these biopsies and some of this extra tissue damage because you don't need to know. You just need to clean that out and get rid of it. You got to do it anyway, or you could lose your breast or a tissue, a lumpectomy. But I guarantee you that unless you fix your kidneys, you'll get another lump. You'll have it again, or if you have a mastectomy, I've had women come in here with tumors growing back on their chest wall now. Not good. If you do radiation, the likelihood of having lung cancer of that is very high. And some people do get leukemias from chemo, and of course that just damages more cells, and then you have a residual kick. So the simplest, gentlest, easiest way to overcome any of these issues is detoxification. It is the golden key, guys. It is your golden key of health and wellness. Cancer-free, tumor-free, pain-free, all these things that medical doctors get confused and call them diseases and autoimmune problems. All these things that medical doctors get confused and call them diseases and autoimmune problems. And you guys are learning the truth of this. And let the truth set you free. And so don't freak out. Get focused. Don't let people scare you. Get knowledged up and get focused. You got a lot of friends here. I'm your friend. And we'll help you. Our staff is your friends. We'll help you. And get yourself focused, but go now. Don't wait, don't play. Put yourself on a 40-day grape fast if you want. Seems long, but try 10, try 5. Anything you can do, but start moving your lymph system. You can do a PET scan later. You're doing thermography. You already know you got a little tumor. Get rid of it. What is a tumor? Pocket of fluid. What kind of fluid's in a tumor? Tumor's not cancer. Only a cell can be cancerous. A cell, cancer is just a damaged, mutated cell. We use that word like it's some kind of ominous disease or evil from the evil empire that's coming down on one, a black shadow of death, which is stupid. These are cells that are damaged. What damages cells? Well, there's only 2 sides of chemistry. Pick one. You're going to be half right. So you'll be okay. you'll be okay. But you've got to get yourself focused. And just like you said, you got a good handle on this. You know exactly what you need to do. Get serious with detoxification, though. Let those fruits and berries and melons kick you up. Let them work with the herbs and kick you up and really get your lymph moving, and you'll be in good shape. You'll clean that out. You'll drain the brain. Get your sinuses draining. Do ear cannulings. Pull your ears. Pull that inflammation out of your pituitary, and everything, all that hyperactivity of the pituitary will go down to normal, and you'll be in good shape. Or you could get a tumor. I mean, that is possible. Chris is getting pretty good with the background of the graphics. I hope so, but he's not photoshopping my weight, and he better never. I am what I am. You know, I'm ready to leave the planet, so I don't care. Candida bind mercury. Ooh, interesting. So long as you have mercury in your body, by amalgam fillings, for example, the candida has a purpose, and the body will. Well, candida is really a part of the. It's a yeast which is part of the fungal community, and that truly is a fermentation family. You'll find that this is more involved in sugar fermentation than anything, and that's tied to the adrenals, the inability to metabolize sugars. With weak adrenals, that happens to all of us. And then if you eat starch, you're really going to have trouble. And notice those that have candida crave starches and cheeses. They crave fermented foods. Well, I'll say their fungus do, but when you have these microbes, it's hard to differentiate your desire between their desire. So, but yes, get that mercury out of the body and get your amalgams out as soon as you can. I felt, like I said, the last one came out of me. And thanks, guys, for the comment. Casperation? Anyway, thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, I even work on my vacations. I do my best writing I do cruises once in a while just to get around the water, and even though I live in Florida, but I write my books and stuff when I'm on a cruise. I know, I don't know what it is. I just have to get this done while I'm here, I guess. I don't know. I appreciate the videos, the spiritual look of those. I don't mean to offend anybody with those. Vaccinating our babies, yucky, yucky, yucky. You know what? Why do we insist on putting toxins in the human body? I just could never understand that kind of philosophy. And then killing the bacteria that's supposed to help break down the toxins. I mean, it's just so oxymoron. It's just so wrong, the medical thinking, contrary to health and well-being. No offense, but I do love good surgeons, man. I love to see a good surgeon repair something. I tell you, it's pretty cool, I think. But then I'm a carpenter, so they use all the carpentry tools. I could probably get in there with my power saw and cut someone's leg off pretty good. I don't know. Okay, all right. I've got to go, so I'm down to only 2. So thank you very much. I've got to run. I will, again, talk to you probably tomorrow. So thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate it, and sorry that I have to go fast sometimes. And so thanks again. I love you all. Blessings be. Thank you.